know how in the fuck I went live earlier. I was trying to push it off till 4:30. That shit went live like a motherfucker. I was just kicking it with Rocky, watching Knight Rider. Thank God I ain't no fucking weirdo. Had my shit live. Didn't even know it. But I was just kicking it here with Rocky. Y'all say what's up to Rocky. Say what's up, Rocky. You good, buddy? You good, Rocky? Tell the people what's up. Rocky like, man, I'm chilling, man. Fuck you and fuck them too. Look at him. Rocky like, the fuck is you talking about, nigga? That's some basketball on TV. But what's up, y'all? Angie Stone. Rest in peace, Angie Stone, man. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Yeah. This book right here, Rhythm and Business, the Political Economy of Black Music. How black music is used to fund everything else except for the black artists that create the music. This book could be very, 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 this would be good reading, you know, when it talks about the structure of stealing. This book right here talks about the structure, how it's structured that black artists are stolen from. Okay, especially rhythm and blues. All artists are stolen from white artists, German artists, Latin. Every artist is stolen from. But black art has oftentimes the least, the smallest budgets and the biggest profits. It's a whole system on how to minimize our budgets, minimize our pay, and use that money to pay other people. And that's the perspective I'm talking about today. That's the point of view I'm coming from talking about Angie Stone. I just want to lay that foundation down before I get into talking about it. You dig? So let's get into it. First off, this is very fishy. Angie Stone was talking about getting her royalties, and she ain't been getting her royalties. You know? And so what I'm gonna do, as I like this, we're gonna watch a video. But this is a video of the scene. This is the accident scene right here. And what's weird is 8 people were in that, but only Angie Stone died. So I want to play this video. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this video. I put it up on my page a couple days ago. I'm going to play this video while I light this blunt. And then we're going to get to talking about it, all right? Press the number 1 if you can hear.
All mine. Hey, after 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs, all the songs that I've done. I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I'm truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, money that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my money. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? Or my problem? I have to give up.
So there you go. There you go. So before we get all the way into, again, rest in peace, Angie Stone. Angie Stone is somebody who is a staple. She the first all-female rap group with the Sequence, signed by Sugar Hill Records in 79. I think the first album dropped in like 80 or late 79. And if you guys saw my Jaguar Wright interview, my brief interview with her, salute to Jag. Salute to Jaguar Wright. Because I only had two questions for Jaguar. I wanted to know about that Philly sound, her being, the musical niece of Kenny Gamble from Gamble and Huff, and I wanted to know about the neo soul sound. And before I go even further, fuck you to everybody out there that was like, why are you interviewing Jaguar Wright? Because I felt like it, bitch. This content is free. Shut the fuck up. Especially you men out there. I don't mind women a little bit, but you men, you niggas is hoes. She lies all the time. Well, click next then, bitch. The fuck you in my comments for? Weirdo ass niggas. I hate this soft ass generation of dudes. I don't like her. Hey, she lied. Oh God, what are you doing? Shut up, bitch. And for those of you who saw the interview, you know me, I'm not gonna be on no gossip shit. Now, if some stuff comes out, then some stuff comes out. But my questions ain't geared that way. My questions are geared towards music. I care about music. Somebody said DeJuan fighting. First of all, spell my name right, you dumb fuck. Second of all, I'm not fighting. I'm telling you what the fuck it is. And if you don't like it, either you can leave or my mom can kick your ass out. Which one do you want? That's not a fight. That's called totalitarianism over here, ho. But let's go further into it. So, when I interviewed Jag, and I'm going to interview her again. I'm definitely going to interview Jaguar Wright again. Because Jaguar Wright knows music. She's been on the inside of it. And what we see going on with Angie Stone is just a microcosm of how the industry does. They'll let one or two people get rich, and regular people be thinking like, hey, people get rich. No, only a handful of people get rich. Everybody else got to work like fucking slaves. Slave contracts. Slave contracts have existed since the time of slavery. You got to understand that there were slave musicians. Every slave wasn't picking cotton. Some slaves were creating music and all of the money going to the slave owner. And then during Reconstruction and post-slavery, when sharecropping became a thing, there was also sharecropping musicians. Blind Tom Wiggins is one name. Look him up. Where Blind Tom Wiggins was making the person that owned his rights $200,000 a year, while Blind Tom only got paid $25 a week. I'm sorry, a month. So this thing that we're talking about predates the recorded music industry thing. It predates that. It goes back to when Blind Tom Wiggins had to work 5 to 7 shows a day, 6 days a week. So this is an old story, and every time black people figure it out, they change the rules. We always figure it out. We generally figure it out within a decade or so, decade or two. And then when we figure it out, they change it up on us. And so it was great having Jaguar Wright, because when I interviewed Jaguar, this industry drives people fucking crazy, you dig? And just because a person giving the message isn't giving it in a way that's palatable to you, or if she's going as an artist that you like, don't mean that she ain't right. If you don't know shit about the music industry, you should shut the fuck up and listen to the people who do, so you know what the fuck it is. And so, and the music industry uses black pawns, black people, to put in front of these white folks that's stealing from us. And that pawn gets a little bit more than the rest of the niggas, but not nearly as much as the white boy, but he protects the white boy. And the only way we can get to who these true power players are is if we attack the niggas that stand in front of them. But that hurts a lot of y'all feelings because y'all got emotional connections, especially you fuck niggas that be, well, you talking about Jaguar? It's because you got a man crush on Jay-Z, that's why. It's not, you're not mad at me, you're not mad at Jag. You just got a sissy crush on Jay-Z. And since Jay-Z reminds you of a time when you had a recent hairline and you didn't have any child support, and he takes you back to a time when you was partying, you know, living at your mama's house, you know, Jay-Z makes you feel a certain way. So you attack Jaguar when she attacks him, not understanding that Jay-Z is the front man for people like Leo Cohen and all these guys that fuck us over. You did? So those of us who've been in and around the music industry understand this. And we try to come to you guys to educate you, not to be told, why are you talking about my favorite boyfriend? I like his music. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ho ass niggas. Make it very clear, I don't look for a big audience. This space that we in right here, Dewan's ecosystem, I don't want stupid people feeling comfortable around me. I don't. And that's why I go so hard. Because if you're an idiot, you should not feel comfortable talking around me. If you're an idiot, you should know you're an idiot and just shut the fuck up. Now, if you got something intelligent to say, by all means, I welcome what you have to say. And those of you who watch me long enough know that when people have intelligent things to say, I dialogue with intelligence. But I don't dialogue with dick lickers. If you a dick licking nigga, fuck you. I don't like them kind of dudes. And I don't want y'all around me. I don't want you to feel comfortable around me. It's enough idiots out here on the internet for you to feel comfortable around. Go watch Gil's Arena where a whole bunch of dumbass niggas sit around and argue all day about nothing. Go watch that shit. There's plenty of content for you dumb niggas. This ain't the channel. Okay? Your presence is not welcome because I don't like idiots. So back to what we talking about, to all the non-idiots out there. So Jaguar, when we were talking about neo soul, we were talking about the neo soul era, she brought up Angie Stone. And I didn't know how she was going to answer the question. Oh, hello, come from Jack and Odell's Live. Hell yeah. Jack and Odell, salute to them, man. But Jaguar on Wednesday, while y'all calling her all kinds of, well, I got a whole bunch of hoe-ass niggas. Go back and watch them hoe-ass, them niggas. I left the post up where I put up my Patreon. Why are you charging for this? You could have put this up there for free. What? Go read them niggas. I encourage y'all, when we done, go read the comments in them posts. It was men that was complaining, not women. That's weird. But I did that interview so we could talk about music. And Jaguar is a book on music. The way she talks, I love listening to her talk about, you know, the science behind music. Not just the industry, but the music itself. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope Angie heard that before she passed. Jag said the true mother of neo soul is Angie Stone. And this is why Angie was still alive. She said the true mother of neo soul was Angie Stone. And then she went in talking about how Angie Stone did not get the credit for a lot of things that she did. And that hurt me because it's generally the innovators that get left out, you know? And when it comes to things like, say, the neo soul style, I don't necessarily like using that term but I use it because it's an operative term that we all understand what we're talking about. Truth of the matter is, it's not neo soul. It's soul. It's black. It's black rhythm and blues. It's authentic rhythm and blues with real non-auto tune singers, live bands, beautiful arrangements and production, the way R&B was meant to be. Radio play R&B got compromised in the '80s when they went to all that powder puff music and everybody wearing shags and playing all this electronic shit, but they can still sing at least. And you know, and then when you get to the '90s, they got rid of good singing. You know, they got rid of good singing and lyrics and live instrumentation. '90s R&B, when it came to the radio play R&B, had become a plastic shell of itself. We're talking about '91, and we got to thank Angie Stone for giving us Mary J. Blige and What's the 411. But once Mary dropped, the industry started more so going for people who couldn't necessarily sing that good, like Mary. Mary had a good feeling, she was dope, but she couldn't sing. You can't put Mary J. Blige next to a Mickey Howard, Stephanie Mills, Vesta, and Martha Wash, and these real singers. So the '90s came, the industry started going away from the real singers, like those real singers, and they started going towards more, people who can harmonize, but they singing was like okay. You probably gonna be the sixth best alto at any black church in LA, or in America. You might be somewhere between 6 and 10, but you're not gonna be a top 5 alto. And they started hiring those people to sing, and a lot of bullshit lyrics talking about nothing. And so Angie putting together and having the power to just get D'Angelo's Brown Sugar album out. Because we got to understand, man, Brown Sugar, that shit sad. I was 14 when Brown Sugar dropped. I had just started learning how to play the drums. Brown Sugar dropped the same year that I was teaching myself how to play the drums. And I remember that year, 1995, the Brown Sugar album was the only current music that gave me somewhat of a challenge on the drums. Gave me a challenge because everything else was just a 2-bar loop. So being a natural on the drums, I picked that shit up easy. But when I remember I spent hours, I'm talking about my first 2 or 3 weeks learning the drums, playing When We Get By D'Angelo. When we get by, we'll make it by. That song. That doom, 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 click, doom, click, doom, click, doom, click, doom, click. I can't verbalize it, but I can play it. And I remember that shit being a breath of fresh air. And Jaguar gave us that story, And then out of that, you get albums like Urban Hang Suite by Maxwell. You get Next Lifetime by Erykah Badu in '97. Then you get Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. But D'Angelo's Brown Sugar album cracked the door open for authentic rhythm and blues to come back. And between '96 and 2003-ish, you had a time. Raphael, you had Tony's House of Music that dropped in '98. You had Lucy Pearl that dropped after that. And, you had Lucy Pearl. You had, remember, there's a lot of groups, Coffee Brown, Blue Cantrell, Tweet. It was like an onslaught of great music. And for Angie Stone to use, and hell, Angie Stone, one of the most positive songs of the century. 'Cause you my black brother. Man, that song, Brother, that song dropped at the same time the thong song was popular. Niggas ain't shit. Bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. Get a man for your money. And Angie Stone dropped 'Cause You My Black Brother. Strong brother. Come on, man. That's a goddess right there, yo. And so I want to thank Jaguar for giving us that nugget, that praise. See, for everybody go around talking about something, oh, she's just negative. No, that's just all you listening to. The thing that made me even want to interview Jaguar was like when she's on 5150 and she was talking about, you know, the symbiotic relationship between the lead singer and background. And she was talking about how the texture of the notes go. That's where my ears percolated. Now, for you niggas, not you people in particular, I'm talking about people who had an issue with me interviewing, y'all heard the other stuff, which I hear too. But I gravitate towards the substance. And I gravitate towards Jaguar because she talks about the evil people behind Jay-Z and Diddy and all these people. That's where my ears percolate when it comes to Jag. Yeah, Jaguar, her project was nice. Jill, that's just that whole era. Music Soul Child. That's my favorite male act of the era. You know, Raheem Devine. Everybody, if you know me personally, you know how much of an Erykah Badu fan I am. I've seen Erykah Badu live no less than 25 times. I've seen her multiple times, twice in the same year. Multiple times I've seen Erykah Badu twice in a year. You know, I've seen Jill Scott at least 15 times. I just saw Music Soul Child last summer in Marina Del Rey. Bilal. Man, I had a dope conversation with Bilal at a Napa Music Fest a couple years ago. Man, I got to talk to Bilal. First, when I was talking to Bilal, it was crazy when I was talking to Bilal. You know, I was like, man, you dope singer and everything. He was kind of like, yeah, thank you. He wasn't being dismissive, but, you know, everybody tells him that. And then I was like, that song you did with Adrian Young, Bury Me Next to You, that's the shit. And I encourage y'all to go listen to that song. When I told Bilal that, Bilal went, oh, so you do know music. You understand music. Then we had, man, after that, we talked for like 45 minutes after that. Me and Bilal. Because, you know, once I hit him with one of them songs that wasn't mainstream radio, but it's a beauty of a song, go and listen to a song by Bilal. Adrian Young was a producer, and Ali Shaheed Muhammad from Tribe. They do a lot of good work together. It's a song called Bury Me Next to You. Love that motherfucking song. And so one of my first concerts I went to, the first one I went to was me and my current wife. It was Maxwell. Me and my wife, we were just out of high school. But the next concert I went to was Erykah Badu, Common, and Bilal. That was in 2000 when she dropped Mama's Gun and he dropped Like Water for Chocolate. And Bilal was just coming out. Bilal had the dreads. It was Bilal first, Common second, then Erykah Badu closed that shit out. I'll never forget that concert. Then the next concert, literally a few weeks later, me and my wife went to the Voodoo tour. No, that was the next year. We went to the Voodoo tour, and it was D'Angelo and Lucy Pearl, the original Lucy Pearl with Raphael Sadiq and Don Robinson. But it was Angie Stone who did that, who lit that fuse. She lit that fuse. See, in music, especially back in the days of the record label, you had to have somebody with influence to make decisions. Everybody wants their song release. Everybody wants their album release. Who the label listens to depends on who has the influence. And Angie Stone being someone who's been in music since the late 70s with the Sequence, A&R gave us What's the 411, you know? She had influence. And she used that influence for a project like D'Angelo's Brown Sugar to come out at a time, the record industry, see, a lot of y'all young, in 95, the record industry was done with real music. Mint Condition was the only band left. Outside of Mint Condition, that wasn't. Mint Condition, Tony was a band, but they had even started to put away from a lot of that music stuff until House of Music came out in 98. They went back to their musical roots on House of Music on that last album they did together. But outside of Mint Condition, man, the industry wasn't trying to fuck with no real music. Yeah, somehow Jagged Edge became acceptable. Like, you know, like a song like Meet Me at the Altar in Your White Dress, we ain't getting no younger, so we might as well do it. And it was a popular song. It was an otherwise great song. But let's just tell the truth. In the days where rhythm and blues was cared about and nurtured, they would have had to go back and rewrite that lyric. You wouldn't have been able to release a song, we ain't getting no younger, we might as well do it. Nigga, that sounds like a first draft. Let's just tell the truth. That sounds like a first draft. If that was Motown, if that was Philadelphia International, if that was Brunswick Records, if that was any of that, they'd be like, no. You got to go back and rewrite that. You can keep the rest of it. The rest of the song is good, but that line, we might as well do it. Now, you can't start a song. See, first of all, I know these so-called players wouldn't tell you this. It don't get no more player than wooing your woman and saying something romantic when you want to marry her. We might as well do it. Ain't nothing more player than early 70s music. Ain't no way in hell Bobby Womack or any of those guys, Marvin Gaye, Sam Cooke, Smokey Robinson, Ronald Isley, they gonna come up with something way more player than that. Like, we ain't getting no younger. That's what, like, any average Joe can write that lyric. Barry White, yeah. That lyric, when I saw that, I was like, and that shit dropped in 2000. I was like, man, we are off to a bad start in this century. Yeah, Drew Hill was way better. If you ask me, Drew Hill was the last of the great doo-wop bands. And they're still slightly a notch below. It was really Boyz II Men and Jodeci. Those were the last two great ones. Boyz II Men and Jodeci. Those were the last two great ones. And then when Drew Hill came in, they were just a notch under that. But after Drew Hill, B2K, no. Next, no. Jagged Edge, hell no. They were all knockoff bands. I couldn't stand 112. That motherfucker, Q, the lead singer, that motherfucker sounded like he was singing with his jaw shut. Give it a try, Cupid. And Cupid's the only song that I like. And then they go, where do I go? What do I do? Slim, that nigga Slim, it would sound like if Muhammad Ali could sing with his shut jaw, he would sound like Slim. Where do I go? What do I do? 'Cause I am the only one hurt you. Is this nigga singing with his jaw wired? I hated that song when it came out. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Nigga, no, stop, please. Yeah, I'll shoot you. Please stop. You're not. You saying I thought I told you we wouldn't. Every time I remember being in high school, when I played football, we used to come out to that song sometime. Dun, dun, dun. I thought I told you that we won't stop. We would come out to that in football. And I'd be like, nigga, at least play some E40. Say that you got it all. Say it with the players ball. Every day you're at the mall. Play that, nigga. Don't play no fucking, where do I go? What do I do? I hated that song. Yeah, you were forced to write that shit to like that song because it kept coming on all the goddamn time. Nah, Shayla, I can't fuck with a 112. My wife loved 112. I just thank God that she don't play it around me. Thank God 112 music that isn't timeless. Because if it was timeless, we'd still be playing it. But we still are playing. Come and talk to me. I really want to meet you, girl. I really want to know your name. We still playing that. Oh, yeah, high five. But I can't wait another minute. They never got to come out. I liked high five when they came out. I can't wait another minute. I can't wait another minute. I like. Remember the Sprite commercial High Five have? I like the Sprite in you. Y'all remember that? I like the Sprite. Nigga, that shit used to come on doing NBA inside stuff. You bet. Man. The hip hop generation love R&B just as much as we like rap music. Let's all tell the truth. Everybody fucked with High Five. I don't give a fuck what rap song you like. When they came out with that, oh, so long we've been together, and it never felt so good. When that shit dropped, nigga, man, what nobody said, man, turn that shit off and put on some Nas. Now, we love Nas, don't get me wrong. We fuck with Nas. We fuck with Outkast, all of them. But wasn't nobody saying, I like the way. Man, nah, man. Turn that shit off and put on some Cool Mo D. Nigga, nobody's saying that. Guy, nigga. Do 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 do. I do love you. Ooh. That was that part when he said, you can get a piece of my love, dumb bitch. Listen to that part. When he says, dumb bitch, because I love that song. He says, you can't have all of me, because I'm not totally free. I can't tell you everything that's going on. That's some real nigga play and talk right there. Look, I can't tell you. Look, I'm telling you right now, I'm not totally free. Can't tell you everything. But right before he says that, he says, dumb bitch. But when you get Aaron Hall singing like that, nigga, the women was like, okay, I don't care. And I wish I could sing like Aaron Hall. I don't want to be Aaron Hall with that shit, with the shit that nigga been doing. Ooh, where we heard what he stuff that he said. But nigga, I would sing like that motherfucker right there. I swear to God. Ooh. That was R. Kelly before R. Kelly in a lot of ways. But back to what we talking about. Yeah, Keith Sweat. Oh yeah, nigga. The gangsters, nigga. When that. Let me tell you how much I love you. Let me tell you that. When that song with Jason McGee, nigga. I ain't remember. I was in LA, nigga. It gonna be the hardest Jerry curl wearing, plaid shirt, low sunglasses ass thug gangster killer. Man, let that shit come on. Ooh, wow. The minute you hear that, niggas be like, oh shit, nigga, turn that up. Cause Keith Sweat had that sound system music. If you had a sound system, I remember in the 80s, niggas in a GNX with a sound system bumping the shit out of Keith Sweat. It wasn't the hip hop generation was not only listening to rap music. Niggas was listening to both. They may not have been listening to Smokey Robinson because that was their daddy's music. They wasn't listening to Earth and Fire or nothing like that because that was their daddy's music. But they were listening to their version of R&B. Nigga, everyone fucked with Guy, left coast to coast. If you didn't fuck with Guy, you were a fucking weirdo. Public announcement, nigga. But Angie Stone was around for all that. Yeah, Silk. Nigga. Because all you needed was that big payback beat. Silk put that big payback beat on. Look you. That was that you know he had the other one. Lick you up and down, nigga. But it was the other one they had. That song that I forgot. I'm drawing them. Happy Days. Happy days are here again. Come on, baby. Nigga, that was the shit. This shit right here. I remember this shit right here.
I got it going on.
This was that. You put that James Brown with it. Anytime you put that James Brown with it, whether it be hip hop or R&B, nigga, it was gonna go. This was the shit. Yeah. Oh, when she's talking about sampling, yeah. I don't want to get no strikes. Nigga, that was the shit, y'all. Come on, baby. Yeah. That's all we're gonna do, black people, when it comes to is hip hop black culture. All we gotta do is expand the conversation. They're limiting it to a fucking party. And I'm gonna get back to Angie Stone. They're limiting hip hop to a party, to a sound system, to breakdancing. When it is so much more than that. All we gotta do is expand the conversation. And Angie Stone is hip hop. How is it the first woman signed to a rap group was able to discover Mary J. Blige? Not discover, but push Mary J. Blige for rhythm and blues. Why was she able to go from that pop rhythm and blues to being able to find and see the talent in D'Angelo and put things together for D'Angelo in the neo soul category? Why did that same black woman who was a rapper back in 79, 80, why was she able to sing the hook on the show Girlfriends? You know that song? Girlfriends. That Girlfriend song? That was her. And that shit was catchy too, because I'll be at work. I mean, when I worked at my job, when I had a job, that shit would always be on in the break room when they was running in syndication. And you just hear it. Girlfriends. That's Angie Stone. Yes, that was Angie Stone. If hip hop is everybody's culture, where are the Jamaicans and the Latinos that can weave in and out all these different genres and have impact from a talent level and a discovering talent level and through all of these different genres? I mean, somebody who was at hip hop's inception, early 70s. She was there. You'll find other groups that can master one of our sounds, even with white folks. That's why you're not going to see a white band play heavy metal and funk like Parliament did. You're not going to see a white band be able to go from a jazz band to a funk band the way the Ohio Players did. The Ohio Players were a jazz band. You know? They went in and started playing funk because funk is what was paying. You're not gonna find once a white band gets a sound, that's gonna be their pocket. They're not gonna go from country western to heavy metal. And they have, with them being white, they have access to go to any genre they want. Only people who are limited in genres are black people. We discover genres, we create genres, and we're kicked out of those genres when enough non-black people get good at it. when they get enough non-black talent to get in these genres, they don't sign us and let us play in those genres. They say no, we're gonna pay you, but we're gonna pay you to do hip hop. We're gonna pay you to do R&B. We're not gonna pay you to do a country western song. Beyonce was goddamn 60 years into her career when she's finally able to do some goddamn country. Beyonce started last century, and she's just now being able to do a country album the third decade of this century. So that's because this is all our culture. Bluesy rock, heavy metal, both of it is blues. Bluesy rock and heavy metal are blues. They're just at different tempos. I promise you. They're just different tempos, okay? Same music. It's very simple. Bluesy rock is a simplified, dumbed down version of the blues. The heavy metal is a very loud, very fast-paced version of the blues. They don't really deviate much from the blues outside of tempo and less seasoning. It's far less seasoning and a lot faster. That's the difference. That's why a lot of your studio musicians in the 50s and the 60s were black musicians. In the morning, they'd be on a country western album. It'd be some outlaw. It'd be some fucking, in the 60s, it'd be a goddamn Waylon Jennings recording at 6 in the morning. A goddamn pop music, Elvis adjacent white artist at 10 o'clock for that session. Then at 2 o'clock session will be be like a blues BB King session, and then the 6 o'clock session it'll be a soul session, like soul music or something. And that's how they used to work. I know because I got told this directly from Mr. James Carmichael himself, who was a session musician before he became a super producer with Motown. That's how it worked. It's always the black guy. He said, yeah, I know most of the guys that was back there, most of these guys were either from Duke Ellington's band or Count Basie's band. He said back in the 50s and the 60s, what they would, every time Duke Ellington or Count Basie come to town, those studios would be picking off and piecing off their bands. And you would see these guys go from this to that. I mean, all the way around. Yeah, I find rock appealing too. I like rock too. I just like when we do it with seasoning on it, you know? Steely Dan, black musicians in the studio. Not saying that there aren't great white musicians. Not saying that they're not. Jeff Porcaro on drums, rest in peace. He could play any fucking thing, you know? I do Lukather. I forgot Lukather's first name. But from Toto, he could play anything, you know? Lukather could play anything. You had a lot, yeah, there are some white musicians who really can. I'm not gonna diss. They do exist. They do exist. But I'm talking about 98 times out of 100. Okay? See, Steve Lukather. Steve Lukather. But you look at a band like Parliament-Funkadelic, they started out as a doo-wop band trying to get signed with Motown. They were a barbershop quartet first. The Parliament, the original Parliaments, that went into a doo-wop band trying to get a doo-wop contract with Motown. Then they went into more of a soft rock on the Ozium album, a rock sound, soft and hard rock in the late 60s, the Ozium. And then in the early 70s, they went hard rock, metal, early 70s, and they was jamming hard rock metal and very spiritual. Funkadelic was very, very, very spiritual. Free your mind and your ass will follow. Free your mind and your ass will follow. For the kingdom of heaven is within. They was really free your mind and your ass will follow. This era right here. They was getting real psychedelic right here on some metaphysical shit. For the, they start getting funky. See, that's that funky ass rock right there. Dun, 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 dun. Nigga. Then they had, then they went in Parliament. Then they got in to the funk. Parliament's first funk song was Up for the Downstroke. This was their first time doing funk. This is like their albums into their career. Their albums in. They're over a decade into music at this point. They're over a decade into music at this point. When they drop this. Get up. Get up for the downstroke. Everybody. Ah, nigga. That was their first funk song. And then they went all the way into funk. And then when they get to the One Nation era, they really combined and would have in songs like Not Just Needy, where you literally have doo-wop. Listen to the background singers. Ooh. They're really singing doo-wop in the background. It's a funky song. Then you get Eddie Hazel's guitar solo that's as metal as heavy metal can get. You don't rock out more than Eddie Hazel on that, and then doing songs like the Maggot Brain and shit like that, where it's funk, gospel, 6/8. It was a funky. The Maggot Brain was heavy metal in gospel at a gospel tempo in 6/8. Like they were doing some like crazy shit, and we have that diversity in sound. And Angie Stone, and I'm going to keep bringing the shit back to Angie Stone because this is really about her today. So just keep listening. As I talk, I might diverge, but I'm coming back to the topic. Y'all know me. Angie Stone, she exemplified that, man. She sang in, I draw a blank to the female group she sang in. I forgot the name of the group. Chat room, what was the name of the group that Angie Stone sang in? Because she rapped in the one in sequence. She sang. She is a soloist. She's A&R. She's a writer. It was a true example. Vertical Hold, yeah. No, Sequence was a rap group. I'm talking about the vocal group was Vertical Hold. Yeah. And just because your group don't break through, it doesn't mean it was bad. Like, it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of things that have to go right and luck. Somebody said, I remember you said on a previous live stream that R. Kelly and Cosby are all guilty. I agree. I don't think Cosby guilty. I think Cosby did some fucked up shit, but he wasn't guilty for what he was accused of. R. Kelly, y'all knew he was a creep, but y'all kept listening to him. I don't agree with how they broke the law to put R. Kelly in jail, put him in jail for what he did, not for some bullshit. But nigga, I saw R. Kelly when age ain't nothing but a number came out, nigga, and I was only 12 or 13. So I don't give no passes to anybody that still listens to R. Kelly after age ain't nothing but a number that want to turn around and act like saints now. I hate that. People be R. Kelly. He literally had this little underage girl singing age ain't nothing but a number right in front of your monkey ass face, and you was like, oh, that's everything looks fine to me. Nigga, if you still listen to Ignition and all that, that's on you. Like, keep listening to it. I'm not against nobody listening to none of that R. Kelly. That shit was dope. I listened to the Chocolate Factory. I wasn't the biggest R. Kelly fan, but Step in the Name of Love, that was my shit. Happy People, those are the songs I probably like in the 12 Play album, but I never could be really into R. Kelly because I thought his relationship with Aaliyah was creepy. So I never really got all the way. You notice I don't talk about as much music as I talk. I don't talk about R. Kelly much. Why? Not because I'm freezing him out of history. It's because I didn't get. I personally, outside of a few songs here and there, I never really got into R. Kelly because I saw it when age ain't nothing but a number came down. But I don't have an issue with people listening to the music. I have an issue with the self-righteousness. Oh, I could never. Oh, R. Kelly this. That's it. But I have an issue with self-righteousness. What's up, Jeff Brown? My issue is with the self-righteous people, not with people who listen to R. Kelly. I ain't got no issue with people who listen to our yes, show me some ID. You know, I ain't got no issues with people. I got issues with people who try to act better than them, better than thou. Yeah, I can't listen to R. Kelly. He was just such a creep. R. Kelly was just this. And I'm gonna get back to Angie Stone in 1 second. This is what I really knew was some bullshit. I worked at this. I worked security. What's up, Nada 86? Appreciate the 50. I worked security for like a year and a half. Much appreciated. I worked security for like a year and a half in the nightclubs. In 2009, R. Kelly came. This is like around I think that was ignition time. No, that was way after ignition. This is way after ignition. It's like 2009. And I had to work the VIP. So R. Kelly comes in, club been going on. He gets there. Club closes at 2. R. Kelly come pulling up about 1:30, right? Go to the back. I'm working the VIP door, right? Women are pushing, trying to get in the VIP. And I'm like, stop. So there's one chick, she look like Droopy. You know, y'all remember Droopy, the dog? She come up, her Droopy looking ass come up. And, can I get in? I was like, yeah, nah, you can't get in. I said, can I get in? Oh, no, you can't get in. Matter of fact, I don't even know how the fuck you got in the club. Anyway, some pretty chicks come walking up. And so the pretty chicks, you know, people behind telling me who let in. And if you got $100 on you, you can get in, you know. But if you ain't got if you ain't shaking me with $100 handshake, I don't hear it. So some pretty chicks come in. Oh yeah, y'all go ahead, ladies, y'all go ahead. So this ugly, droopy looking chick, she appreciate Reg Rock. Yeah, you didn't know about you definitely remember Sequence, yeah. You know, Angie B and Angie Stone was the same person, yeah. But like, so the chick pulled my zipper down, and I knocked her hand away. She was like, well, come on. I was like, look, if you ain't got no money, get the fuck on. Like a hard dick and an empty wallet don't make much sense to me, so you can go. I ain't about to let you do all that shit right here in loud ass club. It's probably 300 people in a club. In a club that's maxed out at 200, we got 300 in here. And then she said, you gave something? You let them up there, you didn't let me up there. I said, look at them and look in the mirror and you tell me why you didn't get up in there. And she got mad. Because them other chicks was obviously prettier. Way prettier. You know? It was like putting Hillary Banks next to Harriet Winslow. No competition. No disrespect to Harriet Winslow. But I remember I asked one of the ladies, I was like, I'm looking and seeing all these women pushing and grabbing to get to R. Kelly. And I'm like, y'all know he pissed on a chick on camera, right? Them women didn't give a fuck. So when I hear all this self-righteous shit now, I be like, man, get out of my face. Fuck out of here. I saw what y'all was doing in 2009. Years after he pissed in that girl's face. 2 decades after he told us age ain't nothing but a number with Aaliyah. Fuck out my face. So, back to Angie Stone. That move ushering in the neo-soul era, that saved live music that was a bridge, you know? That was a bridge that got us out of complete music industry control, and it got us to where we get to, you know, people like Anderson .Paak, Robert Glasper, and it's more J-Mo and producers like J-Mo and this second generation, Anthony Hamilton of Neo Soul. Well, Anthony Hamilton was first generation, kind of like Skip generation, you know, but BJ Chicago kid and Alex Isley, the second generation, to where what Terrace Martin is doing and all of these guys, there's so much of them. And y'all know, if y'all follow me on Patreon, you have access to my contemporary R&B soul playlist where I focus on rhythm and blues post 2010 till now. Corey Henry and those guys. We had the Roy, Kenny Mac. I said the Roy Ayers sound. If you want to understand that sound better, that's the LA sound. Like, it's Philly soul, but you're right. It is the Roy Ayers sound, and the Roy Ayers sound is the LA sound. Look up the Mizell brothers. The Mizell brothers are the ones that produced the Blackbirds out of DC. You know, the Blackbirds, since they're from Howard University in DC, that song gets attributed to DC, but it's actually recorded here in LA and produced by the Mizell brothers. And Patrice Rushen, she would be one of the studio musicians on a lot of the Blackbirds albums. A lot of that Donald Byrd sound, that Roy Ayers, all that stuff is produced by the Mizell brothers. And I love me some Roy Ayers. He born and raised in L.A. L.A., we just don't be claiming our sound like that. Most niggas just be thinking it's just Dr. Dre and hip-hop. No, nigga. Like, we have a very diverse sound out here. And look up the Mizell brothers and all their hits. And you'll get a lot out of that. You'll get a lot of music that was sampled by Neo Soul. No, Neo Soul is not much older than the 90s. Neo Soul is the 90s. Let's not conflate things. Neo Soul is the 90s extension of black soul music. Soul music is older than the 90s, of course. But the Neo Soul is, because we don't want to cause confusion. Although I don't necessarily like this term Neo Soul, it's a term that gets us to a specific time and place musically. Let's not confuse things. Oh yeah, Bobby Humphrey too. Bobby Humphrey, she's produced by the Mizell brothers. And so, but Angie Stone was a key player in that, man. So that takes us to the next part. Angie Stone was talking about her royalties a lot lately. That video I played earlier with Angie Stone talking about them taking her royalties, that was from December 26th. That was from the day after Christmas, 2024. What up, Reggie? But so Angie Stone is talking about going and getting her royalties, and let's talk about one way that happens. She talked about people not doing their due diligence. Just say you do a song under ABC label, right? And just say your stuff is put in, this is put in right. Now, ABC label is sold to DCB label. And DCB takes those rights that were attributed to artists and they shuffle them around. And then DCB label is sold to ZTY label. And then ZTY label says, I don't see the mechanics royalties in this. Let's change this here. And we're talking about the 90s, all right? We're talking about the 2000s, when some of the stuff you couldn't just go to the internet and look up. You know, you had to first come up short in your money. Then once you come up short, you got to find the right lawyer and hope that that lawyer is not working with the record label. Because these record labels, and you'll see it in books like this, these record labels will use people that you think is on your side, but they're working for them the whole time. And they keep switching things up and keep switching things up. Now, 30 years later, you done figured out, Rocky woke up. You good, Rocky? This nigga Rocky knocked out. I thought he was waking up. Rocky like, nah, fuck all that, nigga. I'm going back to sleep. All right, baby boy. But yeah, Rocky just smiled. That's my nigga right there. This nigga chilling. Rocky been here the whole time, not saying a word. Yeah, Angie's talked about Clive Davis, and now she's talking about Universal Music. Our black artists, man, we've got done a number on as a people. We've got done a number on. What's up, Rocky? You up? We got him. You up, Rocky? Or you about to go back to sleep? What you gonna do, homeboy? That nigga about to go back to sleep. Look at him. He only up because I said something. This nigga about to go right back to sleep. Look at him nodding off. Go to sleep, nigga. Trying to stay awake. This nigga about to be knocked the fuck back out in about 3 minutes. He about to be. Yeah, he might be high. I was blazing like a motherfucker earlier. He might be high. Yeah. Rocky just like, yeah, that nigga about, you might be better. You go back to sleep, homeboy? When I'm done talking, we gonna go for another walk. We're gonna go for another walk when I'm done talking, all right? Get your rest, homeboy. But Randy said Rocky a good nigga. Yeah. Yeah. But so Angie Stone is now talking about what we talk about. Go read that book, Hitman, I told y'all about. It's out of print, but go read the book, Music Hitman. This is some real shit. Ain't now Reggie, come smoke. I got my freedom papers. Roll through, Reggie. Roll through and smoke as soon as this shit over with. But yeah, Sam Cooke. You know, you got Sam Cooke. I mean, the story goes on and on and on and on and on. And if they can't kill you, they do what they did, what they're doing currently. Pay attention to Ronald Isley and the Isley brothers. Yes, Neil Soul jumped off in Philly, but with a very much so LA sound. I'm just basing that off the songs that they sampled. A lot of stuff that was sampled in the Philly sound was sampled out of the LA sound. The Mizell brothers produced music was prominent. Roy Ayers was prominent in the neo soul sound. It's all molded off the Roy Ayers, Mizell brothers production. When you listen to the music production behind it, okay? But it most definitely popped off in Philly, yes. But let's go back to the Isley brothers. Their first hit was before the Beatles' first hit. Do y'all understand that? Do people understand that the Beatles' first hit was a remake of the Isley brothers? Twist and Shout? The Isley brothers dropped that shit. Oh, it's a fight in this game. Hell yeah, I ain't seen a fight in the game in a minute. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Man, them niggas is weak. They ain't gonna fight. I ain't seen a fight in the game in a minute. Them weak ass niggas ain't fighting. Back to what we talking about. Where was I at? I thought I had a fight. I don't mind being distracted for a good fight. You know? My apologies. That wasn't no fight. Where was I at, chat room? Where was I at, chat room? I apologize. I thought we had some fisticuffs. Yeah. Everybody sliding everywhere. Oh yeah, Isley Brothers Twist and Shout. That's where we were. The Isley Brothers came out with Twist and Shout. And then it was a black-owned label, VJ Records. It was a black label. Goddamn tenant calling me. It was a black label called VJ Records. They signed the Beatles because Columbia didn't want them. And the Beatles remade Twist and Shout. And that was their first big hit on a black record label out of Chicago called VJ Records. But the Isley Brothers hit was before them. Then they had This Old Heart of Mine with Motown. I think that was 64. This old heart of mine. And then they had that stretch from when Chris Jasper, their cousin, got with them from 73 to 83. That 10-year stretch, one of the greatest stretches ever in music history. The band broke up. Ronald Isley got some hits on his own in the 90s with R. Kelly and on his own. Then got another hit just goddamn 2 years ago with Beyonce. This nigga Ronald Isley got a hit in the 2020s, y'all. After getting his first hit in 1959. What's up, True Bleed? And think about it. How many Grammys do the Isley Brothers have? When you're listening to people talk about music, how often are they celebrated? As much as hip hop is sampled off them, how many times have the Isley Brothers been acknowledged? The Isley Brothers are being written out of history while they're still performing. Think about that for a second. The Isley Brothers never get mentioned with nothing. Why? I don't know exactly why, but I'll tell you what I think. They also were an independent band. They weren't signed to the make. They had their own in-house production, their own record company, And they relied on direct relationship with the people, black people. They didn't try to cross over. They didn't capitulate to the system. So since the Isley brothers never capitulated to the system, they're being written out of history in front of our face. Pay attention. Anytime there's a major music, they don't invite the Isley brothers. That's right, CDs. They were not slaves to the industry. They're not slaves to the industry. They made music on their own time. Look at Rocky. He about to go back to sleep. Look at him. Told you going back to sleep. I told you Rocky about to go back to sleep. This nigga about to be out for another 2 hours. I told you that nigga going back to sleep. Yeah, Jimmy, you think about it, Jimi Hendrix was with the Isley Brothers folk. I mean, the Isley Brothers have touched so many areas of music. They've touched so many great areas of good music. And they're being written out in front of our face in real time. That's how it happens. You see how it works? And if we let them, they'll try to write Angie Stone out. The industry, if they can't kill you, they just forget you. They put Ronald Isley in jail for what other people would have to just pay a fine for. They wouldn't put a white artist with that kind of a resume in jail for taxes. They would not put him in jail for not a white artist, no. But same thing happened to what's his name? Father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry. He went to jail for taxes too. It's like when you black and you do something great, you actually get penalized. See, we gotta understand, you can't say that black people that can't sign, because if you're a musician, you're gonna be a musician. Most musicians, they start in the industry as teenagers, early 20s. You just trying to play. And now you're making more money than you ever made before. And then the trick bag comes in. And every time black people figure it out, like the Isley Brothers figured it out, like Sam Cooke figures it out, the industry conspired against the Isley Brothers. When in the late 70s, the economy got tight, and they choked up all the distribution. So you had to be with a major if you wanted your shit distributed. Even now, you can be independent all you want now. You're not going to hit that Spotify algorithm. You got to be with Universal. You got to be with Sony. If you ain't with Universal and Sony, your shit ain't getting in the algorithm. Yeah, most musicians start as kids. You got to realize that. You're not having people coming into the industry at 50 with experience applying for a job, knowing better. That's not how it works. A lot of musicians, they start making money at 14, 15 years old. The next thing you know, you done wrote a song here, you done put together a beat there. You don't know you're owed these things because nobody's going to tell you. And even if you do read the book and find out what's going on, they keep changing the goddamn game up. When black folks do figure out where the money can be made, that's when the streaming shit hit, and they changed how writers are paid. Master P made all that money independent, so they choked up his distribution. The mixtape era hit out, even though the record industry controlled the mixtape, it still gave some level of freedom to the artists. They could drop a mixtape and get the money directly in a lot of ways, and then they said, "Hey, let's do this streaming thing," and people are like, "Oh, I can just upload my music to the internet. I'm 16 years old. Let's do it." The next thing you know, and then people get rich. You'll see a Kanye get rich. You'll see a Jay-Z get rich, a Drake, and you think that's gonna be you too. Look at what happened with Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy created the mode on how to get rich directly. They switched the whole motherfucking game up on his ass and gave it to Drake. Soulja Boy created a mold on the internet on how to get paid. The minute he did that, they said, "Whoop, let's tighten that up." Now, Drake, this is what we want you to do. And what we want you to do is what Soulja Boy taught us how to do it. But since we the big bank, we now just going to control who can benefit from this and who doesn't. These artists aren't stupid. That's what I'm trying to point out. The point I'm trying to bring home. These artists are not stupid. There's a system at play that takes advantage of these people. And even when they get it right, even when they hire a lawyer, even when they do what they're supposed to do, how the fuck are they supposed to know that the lawyer that they're paying works with that record label? How are you supposed to know? You get somebody that's a manager, they come on a good reputation, a friend of yours referred them. Your friend don't know that they been fucked over when they refer that person. They don't know either. You've been around. You go to these different networking parties and out here in the music industry. They're all kind of like there's like a circle of things, and you meet people, and you meet people through people that you trust. And the person that they introduce to you to, they may have done good square business by them, but they don't mean you no good. Much appreciated the post, bro. But now we don't group black with Latino and women. We just talk about black folks over here. When we talk about black folks, that's man and woman and child. And when we group Latinos with us, we end up getting somebody like Fat Joe or Crazy Legs. So now we separate groups with respect. But now they got a Fat Joe Crazy Legs problem. They got to check before we group ourselves with them. And when it comes to black, we speak for men. I want to make that also clear. I'm glad he said that too. Glad he said that. Make it very clear. We're talking about men, women, and children, okay? Anytime I speak, we're talking about man, woman, and child, because people forget about the kids. We adults got to be responsible for the kids. We got to be responsible for the kids. And so, even if you don't have kids like me, I'm always have a heart towards them. I worked with kids my whole fucking life. And you gotta have a heart towards them. Gots to. And we got to look at the kids as a community too. We can't say my kid versus your kid or we gotta look out for children in general. We adults got to look out for these kids, man, for real. Yeah, we got a John. Thank you, Brooke. We got a John Leguizamo problem. You know, there's a John Leguizamo issue that we dealing with. You know. Yeah. That's why you can. For those of you that have y'all kids listen to me, just tell your kids I'm the cussing uncle. Let them little niggas listen to some cuss words. They hearing that shit all the time when they out there with their friends. They may as well hear from somebody that love them that's gonna tell them the truth. Cause everything, all good information don't come in a clean package. That's why we gotta mature as a people. Everything that you're supposed to hear ain't gonna come in a three-piece suit. You dig what I'm saying? It's gonna come how it come. And we as a people, we gotta be mature enough to hear the information, which takes me back to what's up, Hula Gang? Which takes me back, what's up, Big Daddy Kev? To the people who had an issue with me interviewing Jaguar Wright. That's why I went so hard on them weirdo ass niggas. Why are you interviewing her? She just lies. I'm talking about music, you motherfucker. Hell yeah. If I could talk to somebody who's in music, who's been in the industry 20, 25, 30 years, I'm talking to them about music. I don't give a fuck how you feel about their political opinion. I don't give a fuck how you feel about their social opinion. It can be people I do not get along with. But if we talking some music, nigga, we talking some fucking music. You hear what I'm saying? And music has its own language. And the people that you're going to get the most information on when it comes to music is not going to be your person that won 10 Grammys and they're all in front of the camera. Most of the time, your celebrities and stars don't even know why they're celebrities and stars. You know, a breakout hit, oftentimes the lead singer is the least person least responsible for that hit. It's the team and everything behind a hit that's always the most important part of why a song goes where it goes. It's the team. It's the team. And you'll get somebody coming telling you, hey, that person was a has-been. They didn't have any hits. Yeah, stupid. The best stories come from the people who didn't have a whole bunch of hits. But it's a lot of people involved in music who was around for a whole lot of hits. And these are the people that can help better explain to you what goes into a hit or why a hit is a hit versus one is not a hit because they're there. Those are the best people to talk to about music. Yeah, Jaguar says she still prefers to record on 2-inch reels because it sounds better. That's a musician right there talking. Those are the people you want to listen to when it comes to music. Instead, they done got music so dumbed down, y'all rather listen to a nigga get on the internet and argue who's his top 5 all goddamn day. Y'all so conditioned to hearing people talk. Oh man. Oh yeah. So how many hits did he have? Oh man, this person won 10 Grammys and they have 15 number one hits and they have 3 gold albums and they sold 30 million records and they're everybody's top 5. And that's all you fucking know about their music. You ain't talked about the content and the lyrics. What do the lyrics mean? Because what the lyrics mean means something. Because if you're listening to a song and you listen to a beat, those lyrics are going to impact your subconscious whether you want them to or not. whether you want them to or not. If the music is being played, it's going to hit your subconscious. So would you rather not listen to people talk about the music behind what's going on, the lyrics, the content, the production, the sound, what's the intentions? That's what's going to teach you something. Instead, y'all listening to these fucking radio shows where they're telling you how much money an artist is worth, as if that artist is going to share any of that money with you. Appreciate that, Toledo Divine, new subscriber. Much appreciated. No, here we have mature conversations, even if it's with somebody that's controversial like a Jaguar Wright. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about everything that she talks about, but when she's talking about the stuff that goes on in the industry, just listen to Angie Stone's last Instagram live. Go back and watch Angie Stone's last IG live and listen to that beautiful soul tell you how she got screwed over. This shit is foul, y'all. This shit is foul. We talk about music around here. All right? We don't fanboy out. We talk music. What do I think about what Al B. Sure is saying? Ugh. Al B. Sure he did disclose a lot of personal information. Like, damn, like, I almost didn't even get to the content of what Al B. Sure was saying because all the, but, pray for Al B. Sure. I don't want to say nothing negative to Al B. Sure about him because he ain't done nothing like really bad. It's just that I just thought the timing of what he said was kind of like, okay. I think this is the time to talk about how much she meant and not insert yourself, but okay. Yeah, I'm with you, Lori. I'm gonna roll with Jag. Like Jag ain't been wrong yet. You got a lot of people attacking her, but shit, she ain't been wrong. But I don't like dramatic dudes. I have a very low tolerance for dramatic men. I have an extremely low tolerance for dramatic men. I was watching that Tank fight last night. Tank got his ass whooped. But you got one thing about Tank. Tank got a lot of dramatic male followers, and I like Tank. One of my favorite followers. He's one of my favorite 3 fighters. He's like one of the only fighters I still buy pay-per-views for. Although I didn't buy last night's pay-per-view because he's been ducking. I've been like, I'm not gonna buy no more Tank pay-per-views until he fights somebody that he know can hurt him. He tried to duck. He thought last night's fight was a duck. That nigga Roach ducked his hands into that nigga's chin. Made him take a standing 8. Yeah, the president noticed Jaguar Wright. Yeah. Jaguar Wright tells a bunch of uncomfortable truths. Will she say things that get jumbled up? Hell yeah. I jumble up shit all the time. My dyslexic ass, I could truly be thinking one person, have that person in my mind, that person's image out of my mind, but say a completely different name. I do that all the time because I'm dyslexic like a motherfucker. So can you misspeak and want to retract certain things? Yeah. That's part of the deal when it comes to speaking. You're going to misspeak. Is the essence of what she's been saying the whole time, for the most part, true? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but may Angie Stone's children keep the fight going and collect her royalties and her grandbabies. May they keep going and get all of her money. Because Angie Stone was a queen. She really was. She really was a queen. At a time we needed real music, she got D'Angelo to us. At a time we needed some real lyrics, she wrote Brother. She the real deal. But I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I got some shit to do. Take Rocky for another walk before it get too goddamn cold out here in LA. It's windy than a motherfucker. So yeah, whenever Rocky wake up, oh, you can't see him now. He's sitting here knocked the fuck out. Rocky, we about to go walk. Thank y'all again for listening. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Might get into some cards and everything. All right. For sure, Tam. Appreciate it, Sinister and Sterling, everybody else. Appreciate y'all. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I am out. Rest in peace, Angie Stone.